It's 16.
It's 16?
Yeah, the episode.
Oh, episode 16. Sorry, I thought you said it's 16. Nikli was like 16 year in.
16 more year.
18 more year. That's why I get 16 year in. Welcome, guys.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the podcast, right? It's very chill. It's very happy. So,
and then?
I want to just say it. Remember last week? The last time our show
3 weeks back.
Yeah, 3 weeks back.
Oh, guys, sorry. Also, we missed a week there. Somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Remember, we were talking about now, but the show aired after the fight.
Yeah.
Kinjali! I told you! Mohammed Nakli! I told you!
He knocked him out.
But also, do you realize it's an endurance thing? Yeah, no, after those couple of rounds there, they were tired. Yeah, I know. Casper got some nice punches in there. Some nice punches. I was like, Mo, he's not hitting him because they are fighting anymore. It's like for all the fucking time. Fuck. It was nice. It was nice to watch.
It was good. Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to Nak. Now he's at another project. So now we can't shoot with him because he's shooting something else and it's not even here in the country, I think, what he's shooting. It's somewhere, whatever. So stop asking us where Nak is. He's busy, that guy.
He's busy. He's making money, guys. What are the YouTube?
Yeah.
MacG. Chalete.
Exactly. So yeah, guys, that's probably why you're wondering or where he is. And I know a lot of people were in the comment section asking us, where's Nak? And yeah.
Nak is securing the back, guys. But we're here to carry on the job. Otherwise, how have you been doing? How are you holding up?
I'm good. I'm there, getting there, enjoying a couple of cars. Actually, you'll see them in the later coming episodes. I'm with the e-Golf. We're going to check out the e-Golf in a bit. There's an X3 2-liter diesel with the M Sports package. It looks amazing.
Nice.
The beautiful so color. You're driving the 208, the Peugeot 208. Your first test car. First test car. Yeah. Now you will never forget me, even if we fight.
I can jolly.
You'll be like, I broke your test car, Jineri.
We can't.
Got 208. In the morning.
Guys, anyway, welcome to the reviews are gonna look so hot, guys. These cars that we're getting are really pretty. The crew is so jealous because there's been cars just been dropping here today out of the thin air. But anyway, it's good. It's good.
We have a jam-packed lineup in store today. We're gonna be hanging out with Jacob Moshokoa, and we're gonna be hanging out with President Thato.
Definitely. Yeah. So you better make sure that you don't stop this podcast halfway. Make sure that you watch the whole thing because it's filled with gems, man.
And shout out to all the riders that always hit me up when I'm at Groove, guys.
Nah, Lindu Medici. Nah, I guess even do I have a resting bitch face or what?
Yeah, the bitch, she's deep inside of you.
Oh, no way. Don't call her. She's not there.
Sasha Fierce.
No, but for real, guys, say something. Say hi. I don't know. Maybe I didn't say it.
Maybe also you're intimidating.
I don't think I am. I think
maybe they come to me because this one's ugly, so it's fine. You know when someone is ugly, you don't have a problem talking to them. Everyone will talk to you. But when you're pretty as fuck, everyone's like, oh shit, what do I say?
You wailing, guys. You wailing. But thank you so much, riders, for holding it down with us until the 16th episode. We've got so many more coming up as well.
Yeah.
Today, what's happening? News, maybe?
Yeah, we have quite a bit of news. The thing is that there's a lot of content coming through with the show today, so we're going to keep the news a little bit light. Last week was the final day that you could renew your license, and that's for people whose licenses expired during lockdown. So it's very, very important to make sure. Now, there have been articles like the RMTC, Road Management Traffic, RMTC. They've been saying that they've been briefing all the JMPDs, all the traffic cops that don't take any excuses after this. So they have a mandate to not take any excuses from anyone whose license has expired. But now the thing about it is that they're advising anyone who they want to go get a temporary license. I went to get, because I couldn't find my license, I went for a temporary license. I was in and out of the traffic department within like 20 minutes.
Crazy, that's quick.
Because the temporary license is just a print. You don't even do the eye test and all that. They just print it, put your picture on it, and then you go. So if you can do that, try and do that. For people who are over 60 as well, they can do walk-ins. But now there's a whole online booking process and all that shit that it's a bit complicated. But if you're over 60...
Askies. It's my mom. My mom, guys. It's sorry. Anyway,
she'll call you back, mama. So,
it's my mom. But anyway, you were saying yes.
Yeah. So that's what's the latest news about it.
Yeah.
Please make sure you go and renew your license, guys. It's very, very important. It's all about electric because we have the
You've
e-golf.
been driving the electric car, yeah?
Yes. And I know a lot of motoring journalists have a feel about it, and they're like, but I honestly feel like the future is electric for me, and it's fun. It's actually a new experience. It's actually a mindfuck to drive an electric car because when you switch it on,
silent.
you don't hear anything. Like you switch it on, and you actually, funny enough, you hear the brakes braking when you put your foot on the brake. You can actually hear the
really?
brake. You hear them go. That's how silent the car is. When it turns around, you actually hear the tires and all that.
The screeching and the what,
you don't hear the engine.
Yeah, it holds the lights on your feet. I feel like you can't hear nothing.
And you know what's nice about it is that there's no lag. So you just literally just put your foot on it and just
crazy.
That's very, very exciting about it. So the e-golf is a bit, it's been there for a long time, and it's not exactly like up to date in terms of with its battery capacity. So it's been very irritating having to always charge the car because I feel like they need a bit more bigger capacity. But I know that they're releasing, is it an ID2 and ID3? I think it's coming next year. So I'm hoping that the capacity would be more because it's one of the lowest capacities of electric cars right now on the roads. So that's it. That's the thing about it. So I'm very excited about it. I can't wait for you guys to see the review. It's actually very, very exciting.
Exciting. I think it's a very cute car. It's very pretty. I think the inconvenience, like we were talking about, it's just like the charging and the whatnot. But as time goes, South Africa will improve in that. But that's exciting. It's a very pretty car. Any other electric car? New drop? What?
Yes, because they spotted the 500 Bath.
Okay.
That is going electric as well. It's been spotted on the roads. I think it's in Europe or something. They spotted it on the roads. Everyone's going electric, guys. That's the reality. And when the whole world decides to go electric, we have to adjust very quickly because we're a third world country. Well, that's what they say, developing country. So we need to make sure that we do adjustments. But it's difficult. But the nice thing about it is that when you have it, there's a plug-in charger. There's a one with a twin plug that you can just plug into your house. And then what's funny is
twin plug.
What's fun? Twin plug. You get Lela. Yeah, you can literally just go in and plug it. It takes not really, because you can. Funny enough, like it's just if we were calculating it, you'll probably fill that car up under $100.
Okay.
You fill it up.
Yeah, not bad.
Under $100, and if you think about your car, how much it is to fill it up. You know what I mean?
So you have to pay at the charging station.
Yeah, you pay at the charging station to charge, and then you just charge it. But it's cheap.
Not
it's
bad.
cheap, so you can go as many times. Yeah, dude. If you imagine if you have to fill up your car,
900,000 over 1,000 rand.
You realize I would have charged my car 10 times when I with your one tank, and out of probably because I know when I charge it, I'll get to about 280 to 200. I think the last time I charged it fully, it was like 280 or so. And that means if you calculate it, 280 times 10 times with one tank, that's 2,800 kilometers that I would have done with my 100 rands. Where now your one tank is 1,000 rand. So the calculations are it's amazing. You know what I mean? In terms of how it saves you. But like we said, with load shedding and all the shit that's happening in our country in terms of our readiness for electric cars, it's tough. It's tough to navigate. Yeah. But it's nice. So the future is electric, guys. If you can get into a car that's a hybrid as well, that is an engine, a combustion engine, and does have a electric motor, that's try and do that as well, because that means you're going to save up on your petrol as well.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is come come down with your petrol because it's going up. Keeps going up, so might as well save up. Get a hybrid. There are lots of hybrids. I know the Toyota Cross is a hybrid. Is it the Cross? Yeah, it's a hybrid. They actually build it in Durban. And yeah, dude, a lot of vehicles are coming with hybrid engines.
One day at a time, guys. So we must also accept and also just adjust to the change.
But the thing about fully electric cars is that they're very expensive. They're very expensive, and the setup costs as well are a bit expensive. So that's a huge challenge that we're facing in the country. You know what I mean? So, man, guys.
It will go with time. Anyway, anything else? I mean, Formula One this past weekend was in Miami. Well, right now we are recording a week earlier, so we don't know the results just this week. But like, interesting season. The one thing that I really like about Formula One right now is how they are allowing themselves to grow into a very influential, aesthetically modern kind of sport, you know, very open to, you know, I don't know, man. I like how they just pulling in the aesthetic of Formula One being that kind of sport in the game, which is very dope.
And
I like
you know, people are saying this season has been very, very exciting because it hasn't felt so challenging in a very long time. Because there've been a lot of it's always, I felt like Formula One at one point, if you know Formula One, you could have probably predicted what's going to happen based on the past few seasons, you know, and seeing who's always in front. It's either Hamilton, it's either Max, but now it's like literally changing. And Ferrari's doing amazing.
This is the Formula One that we used to watch back in 2013. The Sebastian Vettel days, the Alonso days, the real, you know, Nico Rosberg days, where you don't know who's gonna win, but you know who's really dope at their game. So we're seeing like that entire racing energy is totally back. It's not predictable that you know that Lewis is gonna take it.
Exactly.
You know, there's a challenge, there's a game.
You don't know what's happening.
Exactly. And Toto said the other time, I was reading an article, he was saying that they've kind of figured out what's the problem with the car. So in the Miami race, they're going to try and implement, you know, the kind of changes that they think they need to put into place. So this is going to be very exciting to see.
And actually, shout out to Anelum Dota's son.
Right?
Oh, he's doing the most.
I like it. Oh my gosh.
I would love to have
that guy was standing there having Chadley, Daniel Ricciardo, dog. Like,
and he was churning facts, dude.
Right?
And that child is a baby, bro. He should be picking his nose and eating boogers, but he's busy there, sitting there talking to like the grades, bro.
Right? And he knows his facts.
And he knows his facts. So shout out. It's nice having an uncle like Trevor Noah.
So I hope you're also doing your research on Formula One if you really like it. Aesthetic of Netflix. You must do your facts. Get to know what's happening. Watch. There's so many. I mean, every week they drop like a recap of the race. So do your research. Learn about the engineering department of it. Learn about the drivers. Learn about the old drivers, your Arton, there's your Senna. There's a lot of people that were doing really great. Same fella Michael Schumacher because Michael Schumacher Ferrari, you know. But like, do your search as well, man. Sit there. I like it. He knows his facts. He knows his files. Race year 2016, Ricardo, and he's telling him that you were doing 1, 2, and 3.
Dog.
Come through.
And where was he? Wasn't he like in diapers?
He was a year old apparently. So he watches these things. This is really dope. So shout outs to him.
And that nigga,
and he's really take on some shit that affected
And I'm just like, look at this kid. So shout out to Anele, man.
Yeah, shout out to Anele.
Like honestly, guys, do you know Anele so we can get her like on the show, guys?
Yeah, actually, we must make a plan.
Can we ask Mac?
Yeah, we'll ask MacG.
Right? So we can just get.
Should we call MacG now and try to figure out if he has the number?
We don't have like the sound that will make him like, cause
sound yaron.
Yeah, so I think we'll call him. Yeah. Oh no! On only Bluetooth. So can we call Mac?
But now you can't hear him. I would.
Okay.
But how come showing your MacG we can hear the conversation? No.
Yeah, so you can also ask him about his dick.
Personal.
Because obviously that's what he asked me. So just
guys, let's get into the show.
But before we do that, shout out to Red Cherry Studios, man.
Shout out to Red Cherry.
That's our home, and
yeah, this is our home. We're right
come
here.
Come through for podcasting, for shooting, whatever you want. Those are the good things, the good vibes, the good vibes. So that
And bring us coffee, guys. Good luck, Icho.
wena batla o shapa ka nthongwe ka mo hare ka ra coffee monna nka coffee fela.
I ask you sing haircut, Lisa. Say that.
Answers. You can't think about anyone else. You don't even see
I don't
the
even
player.
know the person. Anyway, guys, we have a review to
You're
go
like,
check
who's
out.
this one?
Aye.
So, the car standing behind me right now is a very special vehicle because one, it's not coming to South Africa. Two, I think there's 6 of them in the country. I think. Yeah. So it's a once in a lifetime opportunity because it is like it's opening the gate for what's coming, which is the future. It looks like a normal Golf, right? It's not. It's an e-Golf. It's fully electric, like fully electric. I'm gonna open the hood so that you can see the electric motor in a bit. But it's a basic 7.5 Golf. It literally, besides all the badging and all the signs that tell you it's a Golf, you don't see that it's a Golf, an e-Golf, which is crazy. So let me tell you what makes it a difference, right? What makes it different? The blue line. You see the blue line that goes all the way from the lights all across? That's VW saying it's electric. So the electric strategy is think blue. So for all of their cars that are fully electric, you will have some blue notes on it. And you'll definitely be able to see from the side badge here that it's an e-Golf, right? But also, there's one thing that they've made sure that people will know. They put a whole sign on the side of the door, like electric VW. So this car is a slay queen. Like, you must see me with my eyelashes and that mean I'm electric, that I'm special. And of course, these rims Tabona that are basically for the electric vehicles. Yeah. Besides that, you can't see whether it's a Golf or an e-Golf or not, which is quite cool. I like that. So under the hood, I'm actually gonna go open the hood. I want you to see what is inside because I got stopped a lot, right? I got stopped a lot. Everyone keep asking me, what does this car look like on the inside? Well, let me show you something very cool. Come through, Thato. It's a fully electric motor. And there's so much space, like I could probably get in here. I'm not gonna try though. There's like space and space because the vehicle it's fully electric. So it's just an electric motor, a whole lot of like computer boxes and like weird stuff that's happening in there. Besides that, that's it. And that's why it's so silent, because of this, you know? So I want to show you at the back, because a lot of people as well, when they stop me, they always ask me one thing. Like, how do you charge it? What does the charger look like? So I'm going to go into the boot. And that's where you find all the batteries, actually. And what's nice is that they didn't compromise the boot space as much as I thought they would because of the battery. So I'm going to open the boot and finally show you what comes with the vehicle. So this is when you connect to a not so much of a fast charger. It's like a 22 kilowatt per hour charging station. So you just plug it in, and then you can charge. It's a bit slow though. It'll take longer for you to charge. So try avoid using this one. Only use it in an emergency. Other than that, use a DC charger. I want to show you at the bottom as well. I'll put that back. And then This is the one you can plug into your house. See? Look at that. It's a twin plug. You just plug it into your house and you plug it here where the petrol pump would have been, and then you just put it in, you plug it into your house and you charge your car. It's very simple. One thing that I'm not a big fan of though is that a lot of electric vehicles will always have this charging port on both sides. Now this one has always been a bit of a challenge charging it because it's only on one side. But other than that, you're good to go. So, there we go. So that's the electric vehicle for you. Very fast, it's very nice. But I want to feel what it's like on the inside as well. So let's go take a drive. Now the cool thing about this car when you start it is that chances are you won't hear anything. It is so quiet. Like it is silent. I can even speak like this and you'll still hear me. Like even when you press the brakes, you can hear the brakes. That is so cool. It's a standard Golf. It's pretty standard. This is pretty standard 7.5. The only thing that really is very different in terms of going into the vehicle, it definitely has to be all the e-Golf signage, the blue stitches everywhere, because VW wants you to think that blue is for electric. So think blue, that's what they say. And also obviously the display cluster in front of me will show like your power and how the car charges depending on whether you're in regeneration mode or not. Now regeneration mode is basically simple. When you're driving and you get your foot off the pedal, the car starts to charge itself, which means that you can add more kilometers. There have been trips where I started the trip with like 140, and when I got to where I was going, I was on like 160. So you're adding more kilometers. That is a mindfuck. I love it. You know? But other than that, it's a very simple Golf. And the reality is that we're not going to get this. We're getting an ID3, but VW is just like, hey guys, let me try you guys out. Tell us what you think about this car. What do you feel about this car? And honestly, for me, during the week, for my ups and downs, doing all the up and downs that I normally do, this car will be perfect. It'll be perfect. It'll be perfect. It would be perfect. It's my first time in a whole entire electric vehicle. And honestly, I love it. I love it. Because I can speak in silence and you'll still hear me. I absolutely love it. So, big up to VW, man. I really like it. I'm excited about the ID3 coming next year. Is it next year? I think it's next year. I'm hoping it'll come to South Africa. We're not sure about it. But it's really, really amazing. What I perhaps not a fan of is that the consumption, especially if you're in normal mode, the consumption on the battery is mad. Even when you put it on regeneration mode, it doesn't regenerate as fast as you consume. But the moment you go into Eco Pro, bro, homonati, it obviously will restrict a whole lot of functions that chow your battery, but you actually regenerate faster than you chow, because it kind of restricts the amount of speed that you can go with, you know. It actually restricted me like 95, but when I put the throttle on, because I needed a bit of power to overtake, I can literally overtake. But when it gets to like 125, it cuts again and goes back. So it's just so that you can be able to do those initial overtakings and all that, which is quite cool about it. I can't tell you how much it will cost because it's not coming into South Africa. But other than that, I'm actually very impressed that even the fact that they they didn't compromise on space because you have to put the batteries underneath the boot. And I thought maybe there'll be less space in the vehicle, but there's a lot of space in the back as well. So it doesn't really feel like they've compromised the quality of what we'd be used to with cars that we drive. So I'm a huge fan of it. And yeah, it's been in Europe for a very long time. I think close to, 2012, 2013, 2014, somewhere there. I can't remember the specific dates, but yeah, it's kind of old, you know, and that's why you find that the range isn't as good as I would like it to be. But just charging it is not a problem, because I didn't have a problem with charging the car. Just get a DC charger. Make sure you find a place that has a DC charger, because in 40 minutes you'll be done charging. And if you're going to want to charge the car at home and plug it, and you haven't installed your proper equipment to charge the car, and you're going to use the twin plug that it has, you need around 18 hours to charge. So when you get home, plug it in, charge throughout the whole night, and you'll get around 80% of your battery, which is quite cool. So shout out to VW, man. Thank you for borrowing me this car. I had a fantastic time with it. I'm excited for the ID3. I can't wait to see what they do, because I know they're going to upgrade the technology. They'll probably upgrade the range. They'll make it more powerful, because this is a 35 kilowatt per hour range, which is it's probably one of the smallest in the market right now, because you see your Taycans. I think the Porsche Taycan is on 100 kilowatts per hour. The range can go probably to around 500 or what. I could be wrong. I haven't reviewed the Taycan yet, but I like it. Shout out to VW, man. Shout out. I'm excited. The future looks electric, and it doesn't feel electric, which is cool. Think blue.
Action.
Mesh, are you wearing Uggs, my boy?
Okay, the Uggs. I see the Uggs. Is it?
They're not Uggs. What are they called?
Are they boots?
No, they're Uggs.
Get the Uggs.
Yeah.
They're so
I should
cute.
get me some.
I've never seen a gent wearing Uggs. They're
I used
so
to
cute.
have Uggs.
Hakadaba essentials. Wanaka, yeah? Wahali man.
Yeah.
I'm Zeba.
It's mashup. It's called the mashup.
Anyway.
That's Moshokoa.
How's it? Are
you good?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. I'm like, let me do your thing.
Sorry, we get carried away sometimes.
How cool was the e-Golf?
It was very nice.
Definitely.
Very pretty.
I think, honestly, the feature is electric.
Did you say it was cool?
I'm going to tell you why.
I think it is.
I'm going to tell you, the one thing that we will always have a challenge with is obviously the range in terms of charging it. But altogether, in terms of how I feel the vehicle is, I actually like it.
What's your take on it?
I don't think it's cool.
Really?
I don't think it's cool.
Because of the range?
Because of the range, the charging. It was so inconveniencing for me to have it. I had it, a little close to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And half the time I hated how I had to plan my day around the car, its range, where I'm charging, what I'm doing. And I remember my girlfriend saying on the one day, she was like, look, after work, do you mind if we meet at Hyde Park, and then you can leave the golf charging and then you can drive in my car, then we go for dinner. And I was like, it's so cute, but no, why is it such an inconvenience? You know?
And I think it's probably one of the smallest in terms of its capacity. It's about 35 kilowatts.
Yeah.
And like the range is really, really small. But I think in terms of what the vehicle is for electric vehicles as a whole, I like just the inconvenience of the charging is my problem.
Yeah,
if they can just increase the capacity of the vehicle, I think we could have another conversation, right?
I don't think we're ready for it. Maybe because the e-Golf is also old technology.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out in Europe in 2015, 2016. Golf 7 at the end of the day. It's not even a 7.5.
Yeah.
But for me to try and arrange a trip to go to Bela-Bela, Varambat, Wombats, it was almost impossible. I had to drive from the south of Joburg to Menlyn and then try to top up the charge from Menlyn and go to Bela-Bela. But between Pretoria and Bela-Bela, there's no place to charge. If I want to go to Polokwane, I don't know where I'm going to stop and charge. I must sleep over somewhere to charge. So for me, it's still an inconvenience. We are not ready for electric. Better range, cars with plus 500 range, 800 range. Those are the cars that work with where we currently are.
Yeah.
More charging stations, more facilities to charge, etc. Then we're going to be ready for this electric market.
But it is
It's gonna
still
happen
the
over
future,
time,
though.
I guess. Over time.
5 years, 10 years.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's gonna take a minute.
But I think also,
take a minute.
because I mean, look at the Mini SE. It's doing very well in terms of sales. I mean, they're saying this outselling a lot of their vehicles actually that they have.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it kind of says to you that there is a market, but like you were saying, our capacity is very limited. So the people who are probably going to be buying these vehicles are people who probably have installed those chargers in the house, or people who know that they're always local.
Yeah.
You know what? And they have another car as well for long trips and all that. So as an individual car,
You can't.
Tricky.
it's not a
Tricky.
yeah. But other than that, I think it's cool. I like it.
the only
The thing about it is that
underwhelming-
it's my first electric vehicle.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I feel like it's initiating me into that whole world, and that's what excites me about it. Is that it's the one thing that it's broke my electric virginity. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. So for me, it's exciting. You know what I mean? As much as the limitations and the way how it is in terms of our country and all that, but just the thought of it excites me. So I think that's why I will always have some sort of nice link towards it because of how it's the memories of it. So I like it.
I think the only trip for me is that like awutlo koloi oni kapo wetsa lang.
Get a
So
call.
you probably exactly.
Has that happened to you when you was like you
Is this
you
on?
left the car on and you're like, oh shit, let me see.
Yeah, it was quite confusing.
yeah.
So at home, usually cat or dog would come and sit under the car for the warmth and whatever. So
Yeah.
every morning when I was leaving, I'd like hoot, beep, 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 just in case.
Yeah.
You know, just for a safety element as well. Yeah, that quietness is also something that
It's
takes a lot of
Yeah, it's
confusing.
getting
very
used to.
quiet.
Yeah,
Very quiet.
yeah.
I feel like you hear nothing.
But let me tell you, our Jacob are the people that actually, when I'm going into the industry, I really look up to, dog. I'm
Yeah,
never gonna fucking lie. I am not gonna lie. Like I always, like I remember when I was going into the industry, I used to look at the Jacob, I'm like, oh, Jacob, I'm killing it. You know what I mean?
For people like me and a couple of our friends, podcast riders, you know, tell us, who is Jacob? What does Jacob do? And like, don't make it complicated, though.
Yeah.
Also, if you have to ask,
Yeah, if you have to ask.
but
You
let's
know?
just for those who don't know.
For those who don't know, yes.
Okay, well, first of all, I'm a little blown away by the fact that you said the F word. So having a microphone and saying the F word at the same time is
This
like,
is YouTube,
it's
Jacob.
like
YouTube,
I
so
know.
you gotta-
It's like,
This is not
It's
a
like-
big
it's
such a mindfuck.
We're going to get a commissioning editor.
I said, fuck.
He just wanted to feel how it feels.
It still feels awkward. Yo, I'm so sorry for
Don't worry,
digressing.
feel free. Go crazy.
Yeah, so my name is Jacob Moshokoa. Geez, where do I start? I'm a radio head. Love radio, always grown loving radio. Started my career in the media space in radio. Been very fortunate to work at the likes of YFM. I worked at
947,
Prime Media Broadcasting, which is 947 and 702. And now I'm a business owner. I own a coffee shop called Goat Coffee Shop. You guys were actually fortunate enough for one of your previous episodes to be
Yes.
in one of my spaces.
Yes.
I'm affiliated to DigiCars. We use them for a shoot
You were
before.
there.
And then I also do a bit of television. I'm affiliated to Newsroom Africa. Just doing the odd presenting here and there. But I think the reason why I'm here is the passion for cars.
Yeah.
So before all of these things that I mentioned, cars is actually my breather. Like it's my exit, it's my entry, it's my anything and everything. Every weekend, something is centered around cars. Whether it's a drive, whether it's just washing a car, whether it's something. I'm badly addicted to cars. Like it's a problem. I'm a car collector as well. I'm into old classic cars.
I mean, you just drove in here with the left hand. What is that?
So that's a Mark III Jetta, 1996
Yeah.
Jetta. But funny enough, with that car, that's a dream car. And I'll tell you, I was in grade 8 or 9 as a kid. I used to walk home from school, and I used to see that same car. And I remember saying to my friends, one day when I'm big, I'm gonna buy a left-hand drive.
When I'm big, are you
when
big?
When I'm big.
He's big enough.
No,
he's
trust
driving
me.
the car. He's big enough.
I'm driving the dream car. So the exact
Yeah.
same car somehow changed hands, and a couple of years ago it came into my possession.
Dope.
And it's just one of those. Sometimes when I drive it, I'm like, I always wanted this. Like I always envisioned myself driving a left-hand drive and being inconvenienced to the left-hand drive Jetta.
Yeah.
So
But what is it like? Like, how is it driving a left hand, and for those who don't know, like in terms of how left hand drives work in South Africa, I mean, now we do right hand, but how does it work in terms of registration? How do you get it actually to get on the road, and how?
Okay, so the laws have changed since around 2006. So pre-2006, it was very easy to import a left-hand drive and sort of register it, as long as you can like deem it a classic or something that's not a common car that came from here. Mine, fortunately, when I got it, it was already registered. So the previous owners had already gone through that. And it was always nice to find the story of the car, that the car belonged to a diplomat, a lady who was from the US. She came here for a couple of years. When she left, she sold the car, etc., etc. But generally, with a left-hand drive, it's a usual car like how you'd have here. Accelerator, brake, and clutch is the same. The gears are the same. The confusing part is now and again when you want to do like quick movements. You know, like I want to do a quick U-turn here. Sometimes you go into reverse and you turn, and then you want first gear, then you hear by the window. Then you're like, and then just a personal thing. Sometimes when I'm going into like a filling station to go and buy a drink or pay for my fuel or something, when I get out the car, I already tell myself, I'm like, I speak to myself. I'm like, remember you driving the Jetta. Remember you driving the Jetta. Because I've had situations where I come out of the shop, I unlock, I get into the passenger side, and I'm like, fuck. And people are looking at you like, and you feel kind of stupid. So yeah, apart from the inconvenience of going to a shopping mall, etc., I love that kind of shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, because of all of that, I'm a car guy, and I think that's why I'm here. And I just want to say thanks for putting me on the space. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming through.
Like, I'm finding the fuck out. I'm not even going to lie. But you were saying that the laws changed. Well, how did they change?
Yeah.
So the laws for importing cars, the cars are called grey imports. They sort of changed because it's not very easy for you to bring a car here. They've basically just gone tighter in terms of restrictions of bringing cars that are second-hand imports or grey imports into the country. It came in around 2006, and it actually cut off the importation of left-hand drives.
Okay.
So you can't exactly bring a left-hand drive here unless it's for a movie, unless it's got mechanics for a disability driver, a disabled driver. There's only like really small things, unless it's a race car, unless it's a proper classic that you can show that it was never built here in the country. So the few left-hand drives that are coming here, and you'll see there's a lot of guys who are bringing the E30 M3 left-hand drive. That's because the car was never produced in South Africa. So you can sort of like wrangle that, and you go to the South African Bureau of Standards, you go to SARS, etc., and you sort of plead your case. You say, I'm buying a classic car, I'm not buying it to resell, I'm buying it because I'm a car collector. Then you sort of go through an application process. It takes some time, but between 6 months and a year, you could have literally your dream car in your garage with the right amount of money, obviously.
And that's admin.
But you know what?
It's worth it.
Car people, exactly.
It's worth it. It's admin that you feel like, you know what, this is worth it, I'm going to go through.
Exactly. I know car collectors, or a car collector, specific car collector. This guy is like my hero. His name is Marek, a very close friend of mine. This guy imports cars because he wants the car, not because of anything. He imports it because he wants it. And guess what? He imports the car, it comes to his house because, he's got a bit of a system that he uses. His house is also like a museum. So the cars are basically like display cars. He'd import a car and he parks it in his warehouse and he doesn't even drive it.
What?
Just to have it here is good enough for him.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's got the Tom. He's got the money, so why not? You know, he's my goals. He's my like I fan for that guy. Like one day when I'm big, I'd like a space where people can come and enjoy the cars that you didn't know existed, the cars that came from other countries, the cars that were homologation builds, etc. Those are the kind of things I want to get into. But for now, selling coffee, driving cars to try and make a living, I guess.
Coffee and cars, man.
Coffee and cars.
Coffee and cars.
They sort of go hand in hand. Yeah.
That is amazing. And you know what? One thing about you, Jacob, is that I've loved the fact that you're so diverse, that you can get into other spaces as well and still do the most. But like you said, cars are like your anchor.
Yeah.
And cars are like your
thing.
anchor.
Yeah.
And for you, then, you just said that you see yourself having a range of classic cars, but also in terms of your career. where do you see like literally going for yourself? And what do you think of what the car space is like now? I mean, now it's changed.
Yeah.
We were talking about the i30, the corner launch, and there are a lot of like influencers, and I know a lot of like motoring journalists aren't really happy about where the industry is going and how it's changing and how people are being allowed into a space that was actually very, very exclusive. You know what I mean? It wasn't very inclusive. I mean, I've gone to launches where I'm the only black guy. I'm the only young guy, and I'm sitting in the corner like, help me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but things have really, really changed. What do you think about where the industry is going?
So I think when you say industry, it's also very like manufacturer specific.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Because there's some manufacturers who are so open to the change. They're so open to getting more women coming into the spaces, etc. But overall, generally, how I look at it is, I think manufacturers need to be more accepting of where this influencer style is going. But if I had the powers and the mechanics to be able to arrange a launch, for instance, I would have influencers on their own day, and I would have motoring journalists, the hardcore guys, on their own day.
Because they don't know, dude. They don't want to mix.
It's like oil and water. Yeah.
Don't mix them. Don't mix them.
So accommodate the influencers and also do something different. The drive must be shorter. Have more people who are there to give them the amazing content that they want to produce. Photographers, videographers, etc. Give them the reels and stuff so they can post on behalf of the manufacturer. And then they don't do much talking. They're like, the car is nice, or is this car
in the briefs and what they're like, this is unnecessary talk.
Exactly what are we talking about? So I think it must change. It must be different.
It has to. It has to. And you know what? Some of them are slowly going there. Hyundai is doing a good job of that. We have
and
to
they're always trending when they launch.
They're always trending when they launch because they know who to find to bring to the places. They spend a lot of money on launches and they really accommodate influencers for as much as they can. The only flop is that they keep mixing the two. They gel. And then generally talking about the space of motoring journalism, it's amazing how the landscape has changed where influencers get paid for appearances and motoring journalists get paid by their publications for writing about the car because they're writing for the general, this car is good or it's bad, it's expensive, it's cheap, it's bang for your buck, blah, blah, blah. While the influencer is just like, I've got 75,000 followers and they want to see the car that I'm playing around with for today. So that aspect as well has to be looked at in a totally different way and it has to be addressed differently. I wouldn't know how to address it, but there's definitely something that needs to be looked at and there's a way that needs to be worked around that and differentiating the amounts of monies that get paid to influencers versus a publication paying a motoring journalist.
But the reality is that you do. I think for me, from that perspective, is that the ROI in terms of your influences is more surmountable than amountable, if for lack of a better word, amountable than you know what I mean. And that's the sad thing about it is that it's starting to look like, okay, we know if this one has a million followers, we can, from the stories, we see who saw the story, we see from the comments, we see from, and that's the thing about the ROI makes it very, very difficult to be able to say, okay, so you have print, and also print is going through a very difficult phase in his life, and people are saying that they're phasing print out. You're seeing so many print magazines that are stopping, they're going digital and all of that. We're going through a change. The thing is that the motoring journalist industry is changing and it's also allowing your influencers to come in and talk about all this. So it's difficult, dude. It's difficult. And it's, I understand when as a place of a motoring journalist, when you've always felt like my word has been so big and it's been so influential in the market, and you start to see it literally just fizzle out. That's my thing. And then I'm just like, it's really, really difficult.
But I think it also comes to a point of, as motorists, like journalists, you guys also have to kind of grow into the thing of making sure that your social media accounts are also like going up. You have to also just up your game, adjust as well, because times are changing. It's not only changing for the manufacturers, but it also has to change for you guys as well. You have to up your game with your content that you're doing on social media. You have to make sure, because you've got double advantage. You've got the facts, you know car talk, you can actually also bring the content. So you can actually do twice as much as the next person.
The general
as an
motoring journalist.
Exactly.
The general
So I think it
influencer.
becomes more than anything, it's an opportunity.
It is.
To diversify.
It is.
Yeah,
It is. I mean, look at your people like your Simple. Who's this? Supercar Blondie. She's big in head, like she knows a lot about cars, but she's using it to her advantage, using social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, to create the craziest content, and she comes to you with facts. She comes to you with like horsepower and what. She's not just taking pictures for her 75,000 followers.
Or looking
She doesn't
pretty.
or looking pretty, you know.
I know, you'd see that.
You know, but she's
your blood,
using it both. She's using the like social media and the facts that she has.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys have a bonus in it. It's not like having a million followers and then all you're gonna take is like a couple of photos and a couple of stories. Yes, it's, you know, it's gonna get the money coming and going, but like, come on, you stand more advantage at it. So
It's actually a very different perspective.
I'd like to actually throw out a question to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm a manufacturer. I'm launching a new car. I would like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Who's gonna get more weight if I, for instance, invite a Nadia Jafta to my launch?
Yes.
I invite a Jacob Moshokoa to my launch, right? All I'm asking from either of them is to post a picture of a car. However much money you want me to pay you, Nadia Jafta, I pay you. However much money you want me to pay you, Jacob Moshokoa, I pay you. They post. Out of the whatever numbers of followers that Nadia Jafta has and the almost 10,000 followers that Jacob Moshokoa has, who out of Jacob Moshokoa's followers versus Nadia Jafta's followers are actually going to look at that car and then go, I'm going to go test drive it. And then maybe 6 weeks later, they actually bought the car.
Nadia stands a greater
Is
chance.
that okay? Okay, I hear you.
Reason being numbers, right? But also, Jacob also stands a very high chance because of the facts that he's bringing to the table. Nadia Orbonta, what we see, aesthetic and what and what and what. Of course, but almost for like a brief of, okay, this is the power of the car and the what and what. But Jacob is giving us facts.
Yeah.
Jacob is giving us an experience with the facts. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So someone that watches Jacob knows that I'm gonna buy this because Jacob is
because
talking.
I trust
because
what
I
Jacob
trust
is saying.
his input.
So the conversion is probably higher with you.
Yes.
In terms of people going towards it.
Yes.
But also you also realize at a point where the people who are in knowledge of motoring and who know that Jacob is like they know Kizzy's like about cars, you know what I mean? They know, right? But if you look at Nadia Jafta's followers, they're like people who like, I've been looking for a car. Let me
I
go
could
buy
buy
it
it tomorrow.
Yeah. Let me just buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna care about whether it has kilowatts or what. It just looks nice. So it's like a catch-22 because it's but it's beneficial on both ends.
On both
ends. That's what I think.
Now that's the mindset. That's the shift that has to happen with almost everyone, whether you're a consumer, whether you're a manufacturer, whether you're a motoring journalist, like you mentioned, or even the influencer. The shift has to be able to accommodate what whoever it is brings to the table.
And I think also even with like manufacturers and as a whole, you know, just open up the space for everyone. There's enough for everyone to eat, really. I think
Well
it's
said.
fair, you know? I think it's fair to let the influencer come in, learn, do something. What if they, in the next 5 years, are actually going to say, you know what? I actually really like this car thing. And I'm actually just going to go and learn more about cars, and this is all I'm going to influence on.
And that's the
cars.
thing. The one thing that influencers don't get. If they start to learn and be influential in terms of unknowing facts and giving out those facts,
Once you
it
learn,
gives
you're
them
gone.
it's just-
Exactly.
and
It
so
unlocks you.
also you realize that it's like, okay, if this one has 1 million followers, they know about cars. Do we?
Yeah, but that's
I don't want that,
it's
you
on
know?
both ends. For influencers, it's learning, and for car motoring journalists,
It's upping.
upping your
Yeah,
game with in terms of content. So there's growing to do on both ends. And for manufacturers, it's just to make sure that everyone gets a piece
And
of
I
the
think
pie.
they are the biggest form of change in terms of
Exactly.
manufacturers. They are the ones with the budgets. They are the ones who are able to do the strategies. They can inform that change for the industry. And I think that's what it's about.
I want to Jacobo Jalo utlisa defecti. This is what we want.
Oh, thanks for having me. I finally feel so substantial. Apart from saying fuck on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like I can say fuck and there's a camera on.
And no one's saying like, cut, guys, cut.
Wow, that is amazing. That was amazing. You know what, dude? Like I said, for me, when I was walking into the industry, I really looked up to what you're doing and how you navigate around everything. And you know the thing about it, we do so much, and then we don't realize that there are people actually watching what we do. And then more than anything, I think I want to appreciate you sitting here.
Thank you, man.
And say thank you for what you've done, and especially because you and I have sort of like the same thing, because we do radio, with TV, and outside of motoring, we still love motoring. So I see a lot of myself in you, which is great.
Awesome, thank you. Very humbling to hear that, man. Really appreciate it.
When I give you your flowers,
there's some romance going on here, guys. This is very cute.
Yeah, where's the flowers? Where's the
Wow. Yeah, so then, like you said, the future in terms of where you see yourself, what are you going to do? How's Goat Coffee coming along? Where can people actually go get some Goat Coffee as well?
Yeah, so a couple of more branches of Goat Coffee for sure in the pipeline, in the works. That's the future. And I always want to connect the Goat Coffee thing with a car space. Our branch 2 is out in Broad Acres. There's a dealership there called Ferris Ferrari. They do classic Ferrari, collectible Ferraris.
Nice,
so we've got a coffee counter there, Goat Coffee. I mentioned earlier about a space where people can come and view cars and learn about classic cars and learn about the history of cars. That's what I'm aiming for. That is essentially what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for a place where you can come and have a coffee, you can come and smoke a shisha pipe. If you smoke a shisha, you can come grab a bite, but your backdrop has to be cars. I mean, I want a place where you can walk in and see a 333i BMW, and then you're seeing a 992, 911 Porsche, but it's a one of one Porsche because it's done by an artist.
Exactly.
I worked on a project with an artist for a 911 Porsche.
Wow.
And for me, those kind of stories are the ones that you want to tell. Like, okay, so here's a 333. This is number 86 off a production line of 210 cars. What's the story about this? And then you usually have a beautiful story to tell about these classic cars. And what I want is for people to be able to come and grab a 1990 car magazine, and the same 333 that they see here is in this car magazine, and they're reading about it. And then there's also a theme of this, where today we're just going to talk about the race cars of the 80s, and then you'll come there and you'll see an E12 BMW, the M535, or the 530 MLE, or you'll see the Superboss, and you'll learn about the Superboss, the Alpha 3-liter GTV6. So I'm looking for a space. I'm actually in a place now where I'm looking for a space, about 2,500 square meters, to do all of this. That is essentially my dream. That's it. I just want to talk about my passion and give my passion to people who don't know, because I feel like people and kids are dreaming on Instagram, and I fucking hate that. I hate that. When I was a kid, my dad would drive past investment cars. My dad knows fuck all about cars. He'd drive past and I'd be like, Papa, Ferrari. Then he'll be like, oh, you want to check it out? Okay, cool. And then we pull up and we stop, and my dad doesn't know what the fuck is going on. I'm like, that's a Murcielago, that is a Diablo Lamborghini, that is a Ferrari, I think maybe Testarossa. And he's like, same one. Oh, okay, cool. We used to dream like in color. Now it's like you dream on Instagram. It's so fake. It's so double tapped. It's so like Insta reels. And I know that's the way of living now, but the old method of dreaming, I think it's the one that helps kids to be able to attain what they want. So that's what I want to do. I want to build that space. And then hopefully that space will put me into a Netflix original space.
Yes.
Yeah. Am I allowed to say that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Call it, it will come.
Amen.
Put it out there, it will come.
You must just bring us some coffee.
No, I'll bring you coffee.
No, funny enough, as he's speaking about what he wants to do, I'm thinking about the plan that we had, but we'll talk about it off camera. But anyway, there's something really dope that we're gonna hook up here with Goat Coffee, because it's in the pipeline.
Collaborations.
Yeah,
Collaborations always.
And you know what thing I love about our platform is by young people with young people that are black. And that's the beauty about it. And if anyone who's a young person who's black and is trying to push himself up, dog, let's do it.
Come through,
Let's do it. Like, we don't have old white corporates sitting at the boss
Send
saying, send emails. If I want to call Mac and say, Mac, fuck you, dude. What have you been doing? Fuck you. And I can literally call Mac and tell him, fuck you, dude. Fix this thing. You know what I mean?
An email.
I don't have to send an email. And that's the beauty about what this podcast is. Yes, we have our controversies, honestly. But what's essential about it is that we're building a sense of, let's come together as young black people and do great. And if someone is doing that, fuck that. Let's fuck shit up.
Yeah.
Support
And it's always great to see black people working with black people to build something great.
Yeah.
You know, so we have a lot of young black people that have been part of us here in our short journey so far that are actually doing so great. So it's exciting.
It's exciting.
It's exciting for us as well.
Mr. Moshokoa, if anyone wants to hit you up, on socials, wherever.
Yeah, cool. So you can find me at DigiCars, 168 Grayston Drive. That's where Goat Coffee is. You can follow Goat Coffee on Instagram. And then my personal is Jacob Moshokoa, Jacob, Moshokoa, Moshokoa. I do the occasional radio stunt on 702, doing a little car feature there with Relebogile Mabucha. That's actually buying and selling car advice, which is very vital because people get dogged out there with car deals. And then you can also catch me on Newsroom Africa doing motoring promotions here and there. Actually headed out to Nampo possibly for Newsroom Africa to talk about that. And then you'll see me in the streets. If you see me in my left-hand drive, give me a wave because every time people see you with a left-hand drive, they're like, ohamang, and then they feel like they're your friend. So I'm actually a doer, so I roll with the window like very high up so that I don't have to interact with people sometimes, you know, or I jam the music quite loud. But that's like a personal thing just for me to get to where I'm going without being distracted. But yeah, that's me.
Do you wanna look into the camera and say fuck one last time?
Fuck! So cool. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. You're the second person.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jacob.
We've got something really dope for you to check out. Stay tuned.
Mafit lapit. Kamu ka? Ari kering wili. Oh, lapit lah kamu kali.
Action! Mash is here! We haven't seen Mash in a minute.
Yo, dude.
So it's cool to have Mash. Anyway.
Umnatu Love lives here. People come back to it. Yeah, mine is here. Imnondi. Yeah.
It's delicious. But anyway, that video that you guys just watched is super hilarious. That you guys must just know when you're in a car with people, let's just be safe.
And the thing about it is that I don't think a lot of people understand racing is a science. Like you need to understand how a car works in high speed.
It's not just all about just
it's not just about turning the steering wheel or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a whole science to it in terms of making sure that the steering wheel goes in a certain way when the tires are going through a certain way. So there's a lot of it that you need to consider. And that's why I'm saying don't race if you don't go to an advanced driving. If you don't think you are clever. Go get advanced driving so that you can understand the exact science of how to control a car in high speed. Because with it is that just a quick one, when you're driving too fast, like the smallest changes in the direction of the vehicle can
be the end of it.
And we saw that that's what happened with the
I like how this gender checker is everyone's still alive.
Yeah.
Number one.
No, Thato.
Anyway,
What are we saying?
What's up?
What are we
Hey
saying?
guys, like what Thato na list these relaxed.
You know what the people are going to ask on the podcast on that day? Was it hot? Or was it cold?
But the TV has no
Pick your
temperature.
weather.
But the screens have no temperature. You never know, dog.
But studios are always cold.
Yeah.
Studios are always, but I mean, it's not so bad.
It's not too bad. It's not too
too
bad.
bad.
Also,
Otherwise,
warmed up
how
by
you
the
doing?
guns. So you see, we nice.
I want a man.
We easy. Can't complain.
All the hands come through.
Come through. But how you guys doing? You guys
We good. How are you?
I'm easy, man.
Cool.
Can't complain.
I'm
I'm here for a job, man. This thing is simple, eh? Yo, what's happening, baby? It's your boy Thato Ditebe, aka President Thato. We coming through, the new host of Podcast and Ride, and I'm so excited to welcome my guest for today. Ladies and gentlemen, in the building, we've got the one and only Thuli in the cut, and of course to my right, I've got the champion of Immortal Veteran, the one and only Nte in the building. Guys, welcome to our show. This is
Let's
Podcast
quit this job. Let's
and
leave
Ride.
this guy do his thing alone. It's okay. It's fine. fine. You can
Is it
just
weird?
handle this.
Is it weird for you because you're a presenter?
Yeah.
To be in a space where you're being interviewed and people are asking you questions.
Nah, not even. I actually get excited, eh?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's always fun to see, okay, what is it that you guys want to know about me? Usually I always have to be the one that acts interested in other people. Like, yo, Thuli, wow, what a nice sweater, eh, grey. We chilling today, you came through. Even though sometimes Habadija, but you have to get hype, eh?
Must get
I'm
light.
excited to see, like, okay, how are you guys going to lie to me and Fraser me?
Rona re na nako e ntse jalo wena. Rona ra qoqa, rona re na nako ya ho botsa hore o Lucas Teaser. A sa Lucas Teaser, o Lucas Teaser dog. Re tla o jetsa nnete. Move on with life.
That's
Deeper,
true.
man,
That's
deeper.
True. That's true.
But anyway, welcome to Podcast and Ride, man. You know, we know how Motolidi has power and the what, but we want to know, what is it that you like about cars as a whole? What made you feel like, you know what? Personally, because I know, like on Instagram, you like reposting like really super like fresh cars once in a while. Once in a while. What is it that makes you, or what kind of cars are you like saying, this for me, this is my vibe?
Yeah, I think for me, like when it comes to cars, like I said, I don't know much about body horsepower, the 2 liter, what. This one has 6 cylinders, this one has 8 cylinders, whatever. But for me, it's like just more about like the aesthetic, dog.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you see a nice car, what's selling, and you just get excited by it. Like when you were a kid and you're going through a magazine and you see like, okay, cool, there's a BMW there, there's a Mercedes there, and you be like, and then your cousin would be like, this one is also mine. So for me, that's just what it is for me. Like I'm into the aesthetic side of things when it comes to cars and like just how a car makes me feel, man.
For you, what then is the car that you feel like is the one for you?
Like last number.
Yeah.
Like last.
Number.
Like this one.
If you could,
Because funny enough, I once interviewed Zotwa. And Zotwa was like, my dream car was a Beetle. And I kept wondering, so which is like how you look at it like
I think I love supercars, man. So I think I'd have to go for a McLaren 765 LT. Because also they only made 765 of them, and it's like the 720S and the 675 came together. They had a baby, and that's what we got. So I think that for me is my dream car.
The man knows cars.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So you're a McLaren fan?
I love McLaren. I feel like, if you pull up F1, I'm not too deep into F1, man. I only support the black guy there.
Of course.
Yeah, the only black guy there. All these other brothers, I don't count them that much, boy. Guys, he thinks about my hair like every day. Come on,
Yeah,
bro. Why would
yeah,
you support Lewis? Come on, Oaks.
Yeah.
So you're a McLaren gent.
Yeah, I love McLaren.
And so if you had a garage, they say, okay, 3 cars here. You have a McLaren. And what else?
Ooh. 3 only, ne?
Yeah.
So I'd get a McLaren, the 765, and then I'd have to get a Rolls Royce Dawn. Just because like it's dope, though. Like if you see a Rolls Royce, you don't expect it to be a convertible. Then you see the convertible there with the Hermes leather in the building. Oof, Lord. And then lastly, something for the family, ne?
Yeah.
Something for the babies.
Shame, Thato.
Yo.
Family. This is so good.
No,
Congratulations, you guys are doing really well in life, man.
We try.
What?
Takata Thato had inahani family, koleta di family.
But let me think about it.
Probably be an SUV.
Yeah, it has to be an SUV, but I'm thinking
Like your
which one though?
G63s,
That car's not comfortable.
An Urus.
Never.
Really?
Never.
Why?
I'd never buy a Urus, I'm sorry.
Why?
I would never. It doesn't make sense, guys.
What doesn't make sense about it?
Like, for me personally, I would rather get an X6 over a Urus. That's for me.
Hectic.
And also, I think that I don't think that they've developed it well enough to be the super SUV that it should.
Exactly.
And I just feel like a lot of people, and I still believe it, it's honestly just an RSQ8 with a badge.
Exactly. That's my whole thing. Like,
So that's
it's just a
what they've done.
Lamborghini.
But we were saying the other day, but the RSQ8 is mean though.
It's mean, it's
bad
nice.
boy.
It's
you know what I
mean,
mean? So
yeah.
in terms of everything
I'll
else,
let your boy.
Audi, holla at your boy. Mercedes, holla at your boy.
No. We're talking Audi right now. Audi, holla at your boy, baby.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I feel like get an RSQ8 then, because it's much more cheaper. But I love an Urus. There's just something about it.
Presence.
Nah, bro. I feel like you just.
design is gorgeous.
I feel like you guys are bamboozled by the Lamborghini name, dog.
Not really,
No.
dog.
Not
Like
even.
No,
hey?
Urus, guys.
dude, it's the design. It's how it looks. It literally is a fucking beautiful SUV.
It
and I mean,
is.
they've come up. You have your Porsche Cayennes. You have your. I mean, what is it? The DBX from Aston Martin.
That's
all
a
these
nice car.
high-end
That's a
brands. I
nice
mean,
car.
Ferrari's also coming with an SUV, and they're coming up with designs.
Body
But there's just
Cullinan.
one. You know what?
Continental.
Cullinan,
Cullinan,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And they're coming up with SUV because there's a huge SUV craze. But I feel like Lamborghini got it right in that they still moved the brand into the SUV. It still feels like a small supercar, but at a heightened
even
level.
looks like
the way how it looks. You know what I mean? They've literally translated that so beautifully. So for me, Urus.
You don't even have to speed with that car, dog. The fact that the presence,
The presence alone.
the energy around it.
It's
Thato one
gorgeous.
day, maybe haungai tall.
If you get into it, you'll probably understand why. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's just hype for me personally. But
Yeah.
if Lamborghini's trying to chat, holla at your boy. Holla at your boy, baby.
If you're trying to chat, holla at your boy. You heard it.
You're built to sing these cars, eh? You're on an Audi, you're in a heart, you're in a heart, all at the same time.
Remember, I told you before we even started the interview, guys. Guys, negatively so for one thing and one thing only. I want to operate a car ambassadorship and endorsement in Yana. So if you've got a motorki, you want to give it to a young 21-year-old who can operate something nice for you, holla at your boy.
Guys,
I'm down for whatever except for the Go. Yeah, not the Go. Not the Go. Not the Go. But in other car, holla at your boy. Yeah.
This is how you guys get bags in life, man. You knock on
Always
those
put it
doors.
out.
Yeah.
True.
Knock on doors.
So tell us about your presenting. Where do you see
Yeah.
yourself? I mean, you've done very, very well in terms of the presenting game.
Started at a very young age also.
Dude.
In the
And
game,
you've been
dog.
in the game, dog. Like, for you, what has been the one thing that really drew you towards the presenting game? And is it something you see yourself doing for the rest of your life?
Yeah, man, I mean, as Tuli said, I started when I was 8 years old on YoTV. And I was actually having a chat with my sister and was like, since 2008, like there hasn't been a full calendar year when I haven't been on TV.
Crazy.
And in the past 12 months have just been so crazy because we went from YoTV to Gen Z to doing Friends of Amstel to doing Konka Live now. And then now season 3 of Gen Z is coming back. As soon as Konka Live is over, we're jumping right into season 3 of Gen Z. So I'm just really excited about, I'm really grateful for everything that's happening because we also work in an industry where opportunities are scarce, dog. You know, so for me to be in this position, I'm really grateful and excited about the things that I'm able to do. And with regards to what drew me to it, man, I think I just love I love speaking, and more than anything, I love being able to connect with people. I feel like everyone has a story, and I feel like it's my purpose to be able to go out in the world and try and get as many people's stories out of them as possible. Because some people, you know, they want to speak, but they just don't know how to. So if you come through, we sit down, we have a young chat, I make you comfortable, maybe give you a young drink from a sponsor, holla at your boy. You know, we operate something nice. I feel like we're able to get into some really interesting and fire conversations, man. Some really life-changing stuff. So that's what it is for me. It's just more about the dialogue and the conversation, just really getting stories out of people.
Yeah. And you know, the thing about it, especially when we interview women, we always ask them what's the biggest challenge that you've faced in terms of the industry. And we know a lot of the girls go through a lot of harassment and a lot of like assault and abuse, but we never talk about gents who also go through this shit.
100%.
I can literally probably say a few stories, but do you have like a situations where you feel like people have always felt the need to push the boundary with you in terms of trying too hard to basically predatorize you, basically?
I think more than anything, man, I'm really, really, really blessed with the mother that I have, because my mom, like, she doesn't take sweet honey iced tea.
You can say
She
it
doesn't-
in this podcast,
Manager,
it doesn't
right?
take shit.
She Sort of.
Okay.
She's not really my manager, but like she's involved. Like she's aware of the things that are happening. So like whenever I've ever been in a space where I've been made to feel uncomfortable because spanning, like trust, best believe that phone call is there.
You cannot know.
It cannot know. Like we make sure, we operate, we make sure. So I think that with regards to some of the things that I went through, some things I just can't share.
Yeah.
As
No,
yet.
100%.
As yet, but I think that more than anything, just to summarize it all, I've never had to beg a Zell for an opportunity, you know, because we refuse to take gak like that. Because also one thing that I stand by, and I hope that, you know, somebody who's watching this also takes this mindset that I have, is that, bro, these production houses aren't the ones that give you opportunities. You know, these channels aren't the ones that give you opportunities. I believe that my source is God. So it's like, if I'm in a position and I'm operating something, don't think just because you called me, you can put me through certain things. Because I know who actually gave me the calling. You get what I mean? So that's why we just don't take the sweet honey iced tea.
Yeah.
That's good. That's
Lipton,
good.
holla at your boy.
And I think if you establish that in the beginning of your career, that you know what, I don't have to do certain things just in order for me to get somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll get there either way, even if it takes a little bit longer. Because I mean, shortcuts are.
They're not
They
the
don't
way.
lo- they're not the way. It's not.
Your
You don't.
your
You
couch
don't get it. It's not yours.
You know,
yeah.
couch interviews.
You know, it's not yours. You don't feel like you actually have something because now it's borrowed to you. You still
And
owe
people
something.
always feel like they own you. That's
Exactly.
But also with
Exactly.
that, like just another thing that I want to put out there is that, especially amongst my peer group, like there's a whole lot of entitlement, you know. So you need to understand that to a certain extent, you're gonna have to ngenga in this industry. Like I'm not choice, dog. You have to ngenga until you're able to get to a point where your name has enough leverage that you can walk into multi-choice. You can walk into the SABC office and be like, "Hey, Oaks, let me operate this. Let me do that. Let me do that." But while you're starting out, like you need to understand that sometimes. So we're 4 hours before you start shooting, knowing
That's
very
true.
well your call time was from 9 till 12, but you only start shooting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You get what I mean? So just also understand the mission and the vision that you're going for.
Yeah,
But yeah.
and hands on ngenga jalo, ungenga, but don't compromise yourself. Ungenga,
True.
knowing that you know what, this is going to put me somewhere. If you feel like you're in a position where you are compromising too much of yourself, or you're gonna end up doing things that are out of your character,
See.
don't do it. Another door will open, dude. Wow.
Here we are going all deep.
Yo,
Hey, we are deep, yo.
I was about to say, have you still decided? You haven't decided on the third car?
on the third card.
Like, dog, we've been giving you time.
Come on, third card.
Okay, third car. So I said the McLaren. I said the Dawn. I think I'm going to keep it in the UK. And I'm going to go for a Cullinan.
Nice.
Because for me, now, I feel like
Yes.
an SUV, like you were speaking about the Urus, like, okay, cool, it's still a supercar, but it's an SUV. I believe like an SUV, like you're going for the ultimate level of luxury. You know, so with the Rolls Royce Cullinan, you're getting a V12 engine, you're getting some good speed there, but at the same time, you're also getting that soft life. Exactly.
Comfy.
Yeah.
Comfortable ride, 100%,
And
man.
where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Brother.
10 years,
You know,
10 years
I was
is...
like-
10 years is a lot.
10 years is where you're at.
I was
right
about to say, like, dog, 10 years.
now. You are 10 years difference.
Oh, fuck.
No way. Yo.
Dog, I'm 31. Dog, I'm 31.
Damn.
I know I don't look it.
I'm sorry.
But yeah,
I'm good
you
genes.
inside- yeah, you're good cheese, dog. Yeah.
Yeah, but fuck.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Fuck you, dog. Just continue answering the question.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Where do you see yourself?
What's a calendar, dog? How do you
What's
feel?
the calendar?
Nokikwala this year. Next year, I'll be out of it. I'm
But like,
still.
how do you feel though? Like,
Funny enough, I don't feel like what 31 was for our parents is what it is for us.
There's no pressure.
Well, yeah, we don't age. Honestly, we don't age and hectic expectations like our parents used to have. So I don't even feel it.
You're having fun,
I
you're
have
living
more
your life.
energy than a lot of like younger people.
Yeah. True,
So I think age is a mentality thing. The more you think you're old, is the more you will age. Google Tanda. That's what I'm saying. That's my motto. So yeah, dog. That's me.
Damn.
31, my goodness. Brother,
can't
you have
be
been
watching.
alive. You have been alive, brother.
I know, right? And I just started living.
You just
Hey,
started,
man.
literally.
Just started.
Literally.
It just
It's only
started.
going to get better
The
from
game
here.
just started. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, man, shout out.
10 years from here?
10 years from here. Yo. Yo.
Kids.
Ooh, hey,
We say about
kids,
Lebanon, ne?
kids, not
It's
yet.
Kids are not happening.
My whole thing is like, if I make 10 meter in a month, then I'll have kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
So trust the standard is way too high. I don't think I'm gonna be having kids anytime soon.
But
brother.
never say never, dog, hey?
Hey,
You never
true.
know what bag you're gonna unlock tomorrow.
True.
So
Hey,
that
Mercedes, holla at your boy.
It's not far. Mercedes,
Audi, holla at your boy. Somebody just holla at your boy right now. But the next 10 years, I think that should I say it? Nah, I'm gonna say it. It's scary. You know when you have dreams that are just scary? But I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man. I believe that, and you never know what God has in store for you, but I believe that like in the next 10 years, like what some of the people that we have seen do overseas, you know, the likes of your Trevors, what the Amapiano sound is doing overseas, I believe that in 10 years' time, hopefully, if everything, you know, goes according to plan, we'll be overseas operating at the highest level.
100%.
You know, maybe we'll have, it's a daily show. I mean, Ellen is finishing off her season right now, so you never know. Maybe we could be operating something with our studios here in SA, however we're international all across the world, man. So hopefully, but Mercedes, holla at your boy. Audi, holla at your boy. VW, holla at your boy. Who else you got?
Who else we got?
Peugeot,
Renault, holla at your boy. Lamborghini, I love the Urus if you holla at your boy. So what you gotta do, baby, holla at your boy.
Where can people catch you on socials?
Man, this thing is simple. Thato di Tebe, but you guys can catch me everywhere at President Thato because I'm the presidente who always follows the mandate of giving you nothing but fire entertainment, man.
While you add that, wrap up the show for us.
Yeah.
Should wrap up the show.
Yeah, we were done with the
show.
show. So close up for us.
The YouTube way or the TV way?
The YouTube way.
Yeah.
YouTube way.
Whatever you want,
This is
dog.
not
I
the
feel
TV,
like-
this is YouTube.
Let's operate. Okay. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another installment of the 8th Wonder of the World. It is, of course, the one and only podcast and ride. Your boy, our president, in the cut. Like I said, we've got Tuli in the building. The king of Imoto, Laem Zanti, and Clay in the cut. It has been an operation, a fun one. Make sure go to you, like, comment, and subscribe, and pinch. And in the comments, make sure go to you are saying Thato over anger. Thato over anger. Thato over anger. Thato over anger. I swear, man, if you do that, you're going to have a great week. Trust me. With that being said, my friends, we'll see you again next week, same time, same place. This has been Podcast and Ride.
We
out! Mercedes, Audi, VW, baby. Holla at your boy.